they told me at the kitchen table. Not even the dining room, the kitchen, where we'd had coffee every Sunday morning for 23 years, where I'd taught both kids to crack eggs without getting shell in the bowl, where Linda used to sit doing crosswords while I made pancakes. My son Derek sat across from me, his wife Vanessa beside him. Linda stood by the counter, arms crossed, watching. She'd known this was coming. I could see it in the way she held her shoulders. Dad, we need to talk about streamlining things. Derek had his laptop open. Always the laptop, like he needed data to have a conversation with his father. Vanessa and I have been looking at the family operations, and honestly, we think we can simplify a lot of the processes you've been handling. I sipped my coffee. It was still hot. Linda had made it strong the way I liked it. What processes? Vanessa leaned forward. She did that when she wanted to seem sincere. The property management stuff, the vendor relationships, all those systems you set up, they're really impressive, Mr. Brennan, but they're also complicated. Derek's been talking to some consultants who say modern platforms can automate most of it. Platforms. I set down my cup. Cloud-based solutions, Derek said. Everything integrated. Real-time dashboards. It's what every serious operation uses now. I'd been running logistics for a municipal contracting firm for 28 years. I knew what platforms could and couldn't do. I also knew what Derek's consultants didn't know about the 17 properties we owned, the maintenance schedules, the vendor networks that had taken decades to build. But I didn't say that. You think you can handle it? I asked. With the right tools, absolutely. Derek smiled. That confident smile he'd inherited from me, back when I used to smile like that. Dad, you've done amazing work, but you're at a point where you should be relaxing, enjoying retirement, not dealing with emergency calls at 2 a.m. because a boiler failed. I'm 53. Exactly. You should be traveling, golfing, whatever you want. Vanessa touched his arm, a rehearsed gesture. We just want you to have your time back, Dad. She'd started calling me Dad 6 months ago, right around when Derek made partner at his firm. Linda still hadn't moved from the counter. What does your mother think? I asked. Linda agrees it makes sense, Vanessa said. I looked at my wife. She met my eyes. Her expression was neutral, but I knew that look. It was the same one she'd had when Derek was 12 and came home with a black eye, swearing he'd fallen. The look that said, let's see where this goes. Linda, I said. If Derek thinks he can manage it, she said quietly, then he should try. There it was. Not agreement. Permission to fail. Derek didn't catch the distinction. Great. He pulled up a document on his screen. I've drafted a transition plan. Basically, we'll move everything to a centralized management system. I'll take over as primary contact for all vendors. Vanessa will handle the financial tracking. We've already set up accounts with Property Max and Build Chain. Those are subscription services, I said. Right, $1,200 a month total, but the efficiency gains will offset that. I'd been doing the same work for free. Well, not free. I owned 40% of the properties, but I'd never charged management fees. What about the relationships? I asked. Henderson Plumbing, Kovich Electric, they don't use those platforms. We'll transition them. If they want our business, they'll adapt. Henderson had replaced our commercial HVAC system at cost after I'd helped his daughter get a contractor license. Kovich had responded to a 3-alarm electrical fire on a Saturday night because I'd been there when his wife was in the hospital. But that wasn't data Derek could put in a dashboard. Okay, I said. Derek blinked. Okay? You want to handle it? Handle it. Vanessa's smile widened. Thank you so much for understanding, Dad. We really think this is going to free up so much time for you. Probably will. I stood, carried my cup to the sink. Linda was watching me in the reflection of the window above the faucet. Derek was already typing. I'll send you the transition docs. Basically just need you to forward your vendor contacts and provide admin access to the current systems. Sure. And Dad? He looked up. This doesn't change anything between us. You're still part of everything. You're just not essential for the day-to-day anymore. Not essential. I rinsed my cup. Got it, I said. They left 20 minutes later. Derek kissed Linda on the cheek. Vanessa hugged her. I walked them to the door. Derek shook my hand. Firm grip, eye contact, the confidence of a man who just solved a problem. I watched them drive away in Derek's Tesla. Linda came up behind me. Didn't touch me, just stood there. You're not going to fight this, she said. No. You're going to let him fail. I'm going to let him try. She was quiet for a moment. What are you going to do? I closed the door, locked it, turned to face her. I'm going to remove my name, I said, from every structure they rely on. Her eyes narrowed, not in anger, in calculation. How long until they notice? She asked. Depends. If nothing goes wrong, maybe never. If something goes wrong, something always goes wrong. Yes. She studied me. We'd been married 31 years. She knew when I was angry. This wasn't anger. This was something colder. You're sure about this? She asked. They said I'm not essential. So you're going to prove you are? No. I walked past her toward my office. I'm going to prove they're not. The first thing I did was change my phone number, not my personal cell, the one vendors had, the one that rang at 2 a.m. when pipes burst or electrical panels failed or a tenant called screaming about a gas smell. I'd had that number for 19 years. It was on every emergency contact list, every work order, every permit application filed with the city. I ported it to a burner phone, put the burner in a drawer, turned off the ringer, then I got a new number. Didn't give it to Derek, didn't give it to Vanessa. Next, email. I ran operations through a Gmail account, not the family account. A separate one I'd set up in 2007. Every vendor, every contractor, every system login. Everything ran through that email. I enabled two-factor authentication, changed the recovery phone to my new number, changed the recovery email to a fresh account Derek didn't know existed. Then I removed Derek's access. He'd never had the password. I'd just forwarded him things when he needed them. Now he couldn't even request a reset. Linda watched from the doorway. They'll notice that immediately, she said. They'll notice when they need something, which isn't immediate. Derek's organized. He'll want to get set up right away. Maybe. She leaned against the doorframe. What else? I opened a spreadsheet. Building access codes, security systems, municipal portal credentials, vendor Net30 accounts, insurance policy management, emergency contact registrations. How many things? I'd been counting. 47 critical systems, another 112 minor ones. And you're in control of all of them. I set them up. They're under my name because I was the one doing the work. Derek doesn't know that. Derek, I said, thinks systems run themselves. He emailed me Wednesday morning. Subject, transition, need access info. Hey Dad, hope you're enjoying your free time already. Quick question. Can you forward me the login credentials for the property management stuff? Want to get everything migrated to Property Max this week. Also need vendor contact database, building security codes, insurance portal access, city permit system login. Thanks. Derek. I read it twice. Linda was reading over my shoulder. You going to answer? Eventually. How long is eventually? 48 hours. Long enough he thinks I'm just slow, not ignoring him. You're really doing this. I looked at her. You want me to stop? She thought about it. Really thought about it. This was one of the things I loved about Linda. She didn't react. She calculated. No, she said finally. I want to see what happens. I didn't answer Derek's email for 3 days. When I did, I kept it short. Derek, busy with some personal projects. Will get you what I can. Some systems are complicated to hand over. Might take time. Dad. He responded in 6 minutes. No rush, whenever you get a chance. Starting with Property Max setup anyway. I smiled. Property Max didn't know our buildings existed, because I'd never registered with them, because I'd never needed to. Friday afternoon, my old phone rang. The burner in the drawer. I'd turned the ringer back on that morning just to see. It was Henderson, the plumber. I let it ring, listened to him leave a voicemail. Hey Jim, got a call from some guy named Derek about the Riverside property. Says he's taking over management. Needs an emergency water heater replacement. Wants me to invoice through some platform I've never heard of. I told him I need to verify with you first. Call me back. I deleted the voicemail. The new system was working exactly as intended. Derek called me an hour later. Direct call, not email. Dad, hey, quick thing. I've been trying to coordinate with your plumber guy, Henderson, but he's being weird about verification. Can you call him and tell him I'm handling things now? Sure, I said. What's the issue? Water heater at Riverside. Tenants complaining about no hot water. How long? I don't know. Couple days, maybe? She just called me this morning. 2 days without hot water in a rental property was a code violation. Also, a lawsuit risk. Did you call Henderson directly? I asked. Yeah, but he won't move forward without talking to you first. Something about authorization. Henderson's old school. He needs documentation. What kind of documentation? Proof you're authorized to approve work. Proof you'll pay him. References. Silence on Derek's end. Dad, we own the building. Why do I need authorization? Your name's not on the LLC registration. Mine is. Henderson doesn't know you. Can't you just tell him? I can send him a letter. Might take a week to get it notarized and over to him. A week? Dad, the tenant's threatening to call the city. Then you should probably find another plumber. More silence. Do you have another plumber? I have Henderson. Right. Okay. Can you just handle this one, just this once, until I get everything set up? I looked at Linda. She was pretending to read a book, not turning pages. Sure, I said. I'll take care of it. Thanks, Dad. I appreciate it. This transition's just taking longer than I thought. I called Henderson after Derek hung up. Authorized the work. Told him to bill me directly, like always. He laughed. Derek's your kid? Yeah. Good luck with that. The questions started coming faster after that. Sunday morning, where's the circuit breaker panel key for the Maple Street building? I told him to check the lockbox. Didn't mention the lockbox combination had changed 6 months ago, and only I knew the new code. Monday afternoon. The insurance company says they don't have any property managers listed besides you. How do I add myself? I told him to call them. Didn't mention it required a board resolution and my signature. Tuesday. City says our permit renewals are overdue. Where are the applications? I told him they were in my office. Didn't mention they needed to be filed by someone with municipal portal access, which required an in-person appointment with a government ID, which took 6 weeks to get. Wednesday morning, Derek showed up at the house. I was in the garage organizing tools I didn't need organized. I heard his car pull up. Heard Linda answer the door. Heard her tell him I was out back. He came through the side gate. Dad. Derek. He looked tired. Good suit, expensive shoes, but tired eyes. I need help, he said. I set down the wrench I'd been holding. With what? Everything. This whole transition. It's not working. What's not working? The vendors won't talk to me. The city won't give me access. The insurance company needs forms I don't have. Property Max can't import any of our data because nothing's in a standard format. He ran a hand through his hair. I thought this would be simple. Systems are never simple. You made it look simple. Because I spent 20 years building relationships, learning the processes, becoming the person people called. He looked at me. I screwed up. Maybe. I need you to help me fix this. How? Just keep doing what you were doing, for now, until I can get up to speed. I picked up the wrench again, turned it over in my hands. You said I wasn't essential. I was wrong. Were you? What? I looked at him. Were you wrong, or did you just realize it's harder than you thought? His jaw tightened. Defensive Derek, the version that came out when he was cornered. I was trying to help you, he said, by telling me I was obsolete. I never said that. You said I wasn't essential for day-to-day operations. Same thing. Dad, come on. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? He was quiet for a long moment. Behind him, I could see Linda through the kitchen window. She was watching us. I meant, he said carefully, that you'd built something good enough to run without constant intervention. That's a compliment. Is it? Yes. Then why can't it run without constant intervention? He didn't have an answer for that. I set down the wrench. Derek, you wanted to handle this, so handle it. I'm asking for help. You're asking me to go back to doing your job after telling me you didn't need me to do it. It's not my job. It's yours. I was just trying to give you a break. I didn't want a break. Everyone needs a break. Not from things they're good at. He stared at me. What do you want from me? Nothing. You want an apology? No. Then what? I looked at him. Really looked. Saw the exhaustion, the frustration, the first cracks in the confidence. I want you, I said, to figure it out. He left without saying goodbye. Linda came out to the garage after his car disappeared. That was cruel, she said. Yes. You could have helped him. Yes. But you didn't. No. She studied me. When does it stop being a lesson and start being revenge? When I decide. And when's that? I picked up the wrench again. Started organizing a toolbox that didn't need organizing. When something breaks, I said, that can't be fixed. While you're here, hit the hype button. Don't forget to subscribe and support this channel with a like. And tell us below, have you ever faced something like this? The break came Thursday. Not with Derek, with the Maple Street property. Maple Street was our oldest building. 6 commercial units on the ground floor, 8 residential above. Built in 1962. Solid bones, but old bones. The kind of property that needed someone who understood it, who knew which contractor to call for which problem, who'd spent years learning its rhythms. I got the call at 4:47 p.m., my new number, the one only 3 people had. Henderson. Jim, you still managing Maple Street? Why? Because there's water pouring out of the second-floor landing and your son's plumber just made it worse. I was in my truck 4 minutes later. Linda didn't ask where I was going. She just handed me my tool bag. Maple Street was 15 minutes away. I made it in 9. The water was visible from the street, running down the exterior stairs, pooling on the sidewalk. A woman I recognized, tenant in 2C, was standing outside with her phone, filming. Great. I parked in the loading zone, grabbed my bag, took the stairs 2 at a time, avoiding the water. The door to the utility corridor was open. Water was sheeting out of it, at least 2 inches deep. I could hear someone shouting inside. I went in. Derek was there. Dress shoes soaked, pants wet to the knees. He was yelling at a guy I'd never seen before. Young, maybe 25, holding a pipe wrench like he'd just learned what it was. Who the hell are you? Derek was saying. Where's Henderson? Henderson's booked, the kid said. I'm from Emergency Plum Solutions. We do same-day service. Then fix it. I'm trying, man. The shutoff valve's stuck. I looked past them, the main water line. Second-floor riser. Someone had tried to replace a corroded fitting without shutting off the building water first. The fitting had blown. Now water was spraying from a half-inch gap at about 40 psi. Move, I said. Derek spun around. Dad, thank God, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I ignored him, addressed the kid. Where's your meter key? My what? Of course. I pushed past both of them. Went down to the basement. The main shutoff was behind the boiler, old gate valve, needed a specific tool to turn. I had one in my bag. The valve fought me. 50 years of calcium buildup. I put my weight into it, felt something in my shoulder pop. Didn't care. The valve turned. The roaring upstairs stopped. I went back up. Derek and the kid were standing in the hallway, water still dripping from the ceiling, staining the walls, running into 2C and 2D. Who hired you? I asked the kid. This guy. He pointed at Derek. Where's your license? I'm an apprentice. My supervisor's on another job. Your supervisor sent an apprentice to handle an emergency water main repair. He said it was just a fitting. It was never just a fitting. I turned to Derek. Where'd you find this company? Online. They had good reviews. How many reviews? I don't know. A lot. How many jobs have they done in this city? I didn't check. I pulled out my phone, searched Emergency Plum Solutions, found their site, looked at the business registration, founded 8 months ago. Address was a virtual office. Owner had 3 DUIs and a bankruptcy. Derek, I said, this is a scam company. What? They take emergency jobs, send unqualified people, do fast, cheap work that fails later. By the time it does, they've changed their name. The kid shifted his weight. Hey man, I'm just trying to make a living. Not on my property. I pointed at the door. Leave. You can't just leave, or I call the city inspector right now and show him your supervisor's license status, which I'm guessing is currently suspended. The kid left. Derek stood there, water dripping on him, staring at me. I was trying to save money, he said. How much? Henderson wanted 400. This guy quoted 250. And now you need a full riser replacement, ceiling repairs in 2 units, floor restoration, probably mold remediation, and you've got a tenant with video evidence of code violations. I looked at the ceiling, water stains spreading. That's about $15,000, plus whatever she sues for. She won't sue. She's already called a lawyer. I can see it on her phone screen from here. He looked. The tenant in 2C was still filming. On a call now. Animated conversation. Shit, Derek said. Yeah. Can you fix this? The pipe? Yes, the rest? That's going to take weeks. I need it fixed now. Then you should have called Henderson. He didn't answer. Because you're not on his priority list. I am. Derek's face was red now, not from exertion, from anger. So what? You just let this happen? You knew this would go wrong and you let me hire some scam plumber anyway? I didn't know anything. You didn't ask me. You're my father. You could have warned me. About what? That cheap emergency plumbers are usually fraudulent? That old buildings need experienced contractors? That relationships matter more than online reviews? I picked up my bag. You already knew that, Derek. You just didn't want to believe it. That's not fair. No, it's not, but it's accurate. I walked past him, headed for the stairs. Where are you going? He called after me. To call Henderson. Who'll charge overtime? Who'll make me promise this won't happen again? Who'll tell me he warned me about letting my idiot son run things? I'm not an idiot. I stopped, turned around. You're not, I said. You're educated, successful, confident, but you don't know what you don't know, and instead of learning, you assumed you could outsource the knowledge. That's what consultants are for. Consultants give you frameworks. They don't give you judgment. They can't tell you that Henderson answers my calls because I was there when his wife had cancer, that Kovich Electric charges us half rate because I helped his son pass the journeyman exam, that the city inspector approves our permits without argument because I've never lied to him in 18 years. I shifted my bag to my other shoulder. Those aren't things you put in a platform, Derek. Those are things you earn. So teach me. I tried. You said it was inefficient. I was wrong. Yes, you were. Then help me fix it. I looked at him, Wet, tired, scared. Maybe for the first time realizing what he'd actually taken on. "No," I said. "Why not?" "Because you told me I wasn't essential, so prove it." I went downstairs, called Henderson, explained the situation, apologized. He sighed. "I'll be there in an hour, gonna cost you." "I know. Your kid screwed up." "I know. You really letting him learn the hard way?" "Yes. Cold, Jim, but fair." Henderson fixed the pipe, charged me $600 plus another $800 for the kid's damage. I paid him in cash, told him to keep Derek's number but don't answer his calls. "You want me to ghost your own son?" Henderson asked. "I want him to understand what it takes to get you to answer." Henderson grinned. "You're mean when you're pissed." "I'm not pissed." "Then what are you?" I thought about it. "Methodical." By the time I left Maple Street, it was past 10. Derek was gone. The tenant in 2C had posted her video online. 67 comments already, most of them about negligent landlords and legal action. I called Linda from the truck. "How bad?" she asked. "Bad enough. 15,000 in immediate repairs. Possible lawsuit. Derek's reputation with the tenants is destroyed." "And you?" "I fixed the pipe. I mean emotionally." I sat there in the dark truck, engine running, heat blowing. "I don't know," I said. "Yes, you do. I feel like I should feel worse than I do." "But you don't." "No." Silence on her end. Then, "When you get home, I need to show you something." Linda was in the office when I got back. She had her laptop open, spreadsheet on the screen, numbers I recognized, property accounts, expense tracking, revenue projections. "Sit down," she said. I sat. She turned the laptop toward me. "This is Derek's Property Max dashboard. He gave me access last week, asked me to help him input data." I looked at the screen, clean interface, color-coded categories, real-time graphs, all completely wrong. "He's got the property values inflated by 30%, I said. "I know." "The maintenance reserves are off by 50,000. "I know." "He's projecting revenue based on full occupancy. We've never had full occupancy." "I know." I looked at her. "You've been watching this the whole time." "Of course. And you didn't tell him? You didn't ask me to." "Linda." She closed the laptop, folded her hands on top of it. "Jim, I need to ask you something, and I need you to answer honestly." "Okay. Are you trying to teach Derek a lesson, or are you trying to destroy him?" The question sat between us. I could hear the refrigerator humming in the kitchen, the clock ticking on the wall. "I don't know yet," I said. "That's not an answer. It's the only answer I have." She studied me. "He's our son." "I know. And Vanessa's pregnant." I stared at her. "What?" "She told me Tuesday. 6 weeks. They're not announcing it yet." "Does Derek know you told me?" "No." "Why did you tell me?" "Because," Linda said, "you need to decide how far you're going to take this before there's a grandchild involved." I stood up, walked to the window, looked out at nothing. "How far do you think I should take it?" I asked. "That's not my decision." "But you have an opinion." "I always have an opinion." "And?" She came to stand beside me, looked out at the same nothing. "I think," she said, "that Derek is learning something he needed to learn. I think Vanessa is learning something she needed to learn. I think you're teaching them that competence and respect are connected, that you can't dismiss someone and expect them to save you. That actions have consequences." But I also think you're enjoying this, and that scares me." "Why?" "Because the man I married wouldn't enjoy watching his son fail. He'd hate it, even if it was deserved." "Maybe I'm not that man anymore. Maybe you're not." We stood there, silent. "What do you want me to do?" I asked. "I want you to decide what the end looks like before you go too far to stop." "And if I've already gone too far?" She didn't answer. I spent the rest of the night in the office, not working, just thinking. Linda was right. I was enjoying this, not Derek's pain, not exactly, but his realization. The moment-by-moment understanding that he'd been wrong, that the systems he'd dismissed as outdated were actually sophisticated, that the work I'd done wasn't busy work, that I wasn't obsolete. I was enjoying being proven right, which meant Linda was also right about the second thing. I'd changed. 3 weeks ago, if Derek had called me with a crisis, I would have dropped everything, fixed it, protected him from the consequences, because that's what fathers do. Now I watched the consequences happen, documented them, waited to see what he'd do next. The question was, where did it end? I opened my laptop, pulled up the master list. 47 critical systems. I'd removed my name from 19. Derek had hit problems with 7. That meant 12 more waiting to fail, plus the 112 minor systems. Those were slower burns, vendor relationships, permit renewals, insurance policy updates, things that wouldn't explode immediately but would accumulate into a crisis. How many of those before Derek broke completely? How many before I went too far? I thought about the baby. 6 weeks. Due in about 7 months. Summer, probably. Would Derek still be managing the properties by then? Would he have given up, begged me to take over, sold everything out of frustration? Would he hate me? Did I care if he did? I closed the laptop, went upstairs. Linda was in bed, reading. She looked up when I came in. "Did you decide?" she asked. "No." "Are you going to?" I got into bed, turned off the light. "Eventually," I said. The first sign something was wrong came from Kovich, the electrician, the one who'd helped us during the 3-alarm fire, the one Derek had never built a relationship with because he was still using the vendors I'd introduced him to. Kovich called me directly, my new number, the one he shouldn't have had. "Jim, we need to talk." "About what?" "About Derek buying the Westfield Plaza property." I sat up. "What? He didn't tell you?" "No." "Shit, I thought you knew." "Tell me." "Derek hired me last month to do an electrical assessment on Westfield Plaza. Big commercial property, 8 retail spaces, office complex upstairs. He said he was considering buying it. Asked me to keep it quiet because negotiations were sensitive." "When was this?" 3 weeks ago. And I did the assessment. Told him the electrical system needs a complete overhaul. Minimum 200,000, probably closer to 350 with code upgrades. He thanked me, paid me. I figured he'd walk away from the deal. But I just saw the county records. Sale closed yesterday. He bought it. I was already pulling up the county assessor's website. Searched Westfield Plaza. There it was. New owner, Brennan Property Holdings, LLC. That was Derek's company, the one he'd set up to manage the family properties. Sale price, $4.2 million. "Jim, you still there?" "Yeah." "You really didn't know?" "No." "Then I probably shouldn't have told you." "You did the right thing." I hung up. Sat there, staring at the screen. $4.2 million for a property that needed immediate electrical work, plus whatever other problems existed that Derek hadn't discovered yet. Where the hell did he get $4.2 million? I called the bank, our business banker, guy I'd worked with for 15 years. "Jim, hey, what can I do for you? Tell me about the Westfield Plaza loan." Silence. "I'm not sure I should discuss." "Mark, it's my LLC too, I'm on the paperwork. Tell me about the loan." "Derek said you were involved." "How much?" $3.5 million, commercial mortgage, 20-year term, 7% interest. "What collateral?" "The property itself, plus a personal guarantee." "From Derek?" "From Derek and Vanessa." "Anyone else?" More silence. "And you?" "What?" "Your signature is on the guarantee, along with Linda's." "Mark, I never signed any guarantee." "You're listed as a co-guarantor. The documents were filed 2 weeks ago. Send me copies, now." "Jim." "Now, Mark." Okay, sending." The email arrived 3 minutes later. I opened the PDFs. Loan documents, personal guarantees, all properly executed, notarized, dated 2 weeks ago. My signature on the guarantee. Linda's signature on the guarantee. Perfect forgeries. I was still staring at them when Linda came home. "You look upset," she said. I turned the laptop toward her. "Did you sign this?" She looked at the screen. "Sign what?" "A personal guarantee for a $3.5 million loan." "No." "Look closer." She leaned in, saw her signature. "That's not mine." "It's close." "It's not mine, Jim. I never saw these documents." "Derek forged our signatures." She stared at me. "He wouldn't." "He did, to buy a property that needs minimum $200,000 in immediate electrical work. Probably has other problems too, and when it all goes wrong, the bank comes after us." "How much are we liable for?" "Potentially the full loan amount, $3.5 million. "We don't have $3.5 million. "Which means they take everything, the properties, the house, all of it." Linda sat down. "Call Derek." "I am." I called. It rang 4 times, went to voicemail. "Derek, call me, now." Hung up. Tried again. Voicemail. Tried Vanessa. Voicemail. Tried Derek's office. Secretary said he was in meetings all day. "Tell him his father called. It's an emergency." "I'll let him know." I spent the next hour pulling documents. Every piece of paperwork related to our properties, every contract, every deed, every agreement. Looking for other forgeries. Found them. 3 more, small ones, vendor contracts, insurance policies, all with my signature. None that I'd actually signed. Linda watched from the doorway. "How long has he been doing this?" "Months, probably, since I started teaching him the systems. He learned which documents needed signatures, which ones I'd never see unless something went wrong." "This is fraud." "Yes. We have to report it." "To who? The police?" "He's our son. He forged our signatures to take out a multi-million-dollar loan." "I know." "Jim, we could lose everything." "I know." She came into the room, sat down across from me. "What are you going to do?" she asked. Good question. Derek had betrayed me, used the knowledge I'd given him to commit fraud, put our entire financial life at risk. And he was my son, father of my granddaughter, Linda's child. "I don't know yet," I said. "We can't just let this go." "I'm not planning to." "Then what?" I looked at the loan documents, the forged signatures, the property assessment showing catastrophic electrical problems. "I'm going to let him fail," I said. "Again, but this time, I'm going to make sure it destroys him." Linda's eyes widened. "What? Derek wants to be independent? Fine. He bought a failing property with fraudulent documents. Let's see him manage it." "That's insane. That's consequence." "Jim, he forged our signatures. This isn't a teaching moment. This is a crime." "And if I report it, what happens? Derek goes to prison? Vanessa raises Claire alone? We become the grandparents who destroyed their own family? We become the grandparents who didn't tolerate fraud. Do we?" She stared at me. "You're doing it again." "What?" "Turning into someone I don't recognize." "I'm being practical." "You're being vindictive." "Maybe both." She stood up. "I won't be part of this." "You already are. Your signature is on the guarantee." "Because he forged it. Which the bank doesn't know. Which means if this loan defaults, they're coming after you too. Then we report the fraud and get the guarantee voided. And destroy Derek in the process. He destroyed himself." I looked at her. "You really want to send our son to prison?" She was quiet for a long moment. "No, but I don't want to enable this either." "Then what do you want?" "I want you to confront him, make him fix this, make him understand what he did." "And if he can't fix it?" "Then we report it." "You'd really do that? Turn in our own son?" "If the alternative is losing everything we've built?" "Yes." "Fair." I looked back at the documents, at the property assessment, at the numbers that didn't work. Okay, I said. I'll talk to him. When? When he calls me back. And if he doesn't, then I go find him. I spent the next 3 days documenting everything. Every forged signature, every fraudulent filing, every misrepresented authorization, built a complete case file, showed it to a lawyer, friend of mine, real estate specialist. He read through it, whistled. Jim, this is serious. I know. Multiple counts of fraud, forgery, misrepresentation. Your son's looking at real prison time if this gets prosecuted. What about the civil side? Bank will sue, they'll win, they'll seize the properties as collateral. You'll lose everything unless you can prove you weren't involved. Can I? Probably. Handwriting analysis will show the signatures are forged. You've got no electronic trail approving the transactions. Bank statements show you never saw the loan proceeds. Yeah, you can probably avoid liability. What about Derek? He's finished. Professionally, legally, financially. Good. The lawyer looked at me. You sure about this? Why? Because he's your kid. Because once you start this process, it doesn't stop. Bank gets involved, then the DA. It becomes criminal. He's not just losing money. He's losing years of his life. He made the choice. He's also the father of your grandchild. I'm aware. And you're okay with that child growing up knowing her father's in prison? I didn't answer. Jim, I've known you 20 years. This isn't you. Maybe it is now. He closed the file. I can't help you with this. Why not? Because I'm not going to be part of destroying a family. You want to pursue this? Find another lawyer. He left. I sat there in his office, empty conference room, big windows overlooking the city. Thought about Claire, 6 months old, learning to sit up, smiling at me when I held her. Thought about her growing up, visiting her father in prison, learning that her grandfather put him there. Thought about whether I cared, realized I wasn't sure. Went home. Linda was in the kitchen, cooking. Didn't look at me when I came in. Lawyer won't help, I said. Good. I'll find another one. Will you? Yes. She set down the knife, turned to face me. Jim, I'm going to say this once. If you pursue this, I'm leaving. You already left. You came back. This time I won't come back. Over Derek? Over you becoming someone who'd destroy his own son. I'm not destroying him. I'm holding him accountable. By sending him to prison. By reporting a crime. That your son committed against you. Against us. Which makes it worse, not better. Which makes it family business, not legal business. He forged our signatures for $5 million, Linda. That's not family business, that's felony fraud. And you have options besides prosecution. Like what? Like making him sell the property, like making him pay back the loans, like making him understand what he did wrong without destroying his entire life. He can't sell the property without taking a massive loss. Then he takes the loss, which we'll end up covering because our names are on the guarantees. So we cover it. We take the financial hit. We move on. And Derek learns what? That he can commit fraud and Dad will just pay for it? Derek learns that actions have consequences, but family has mercy. I'm done with mercy. I can see that. We stared at each other. You're really leaving if I pursue this? I asked. Yes. 31 years of marriage. 31 years of being married to a man who valued family, not this. This is me protecting our family. This is you satisfying revenge. Maybe it's both. It can't be both. Why not? She didn't answer, just walked out of the kitchen. I heard her going upstairs, heard drawers opening, heard the closet door. She was packing again. I went after her. Linda, wait. I'm done waiting. Just listen. No. You listen. I have spent 3 decades supporting you, building with you, standing beside you through everything. But I will not stand beside you while you destroy our son out of spite. It's not spite. Then what is it? It's consequence. It's accountability. It's making sure he understands that betrayal has costs. He already understands. He's terrified. He knows he screwed up. He's trying to fix it. He can't fix it. Then help him. I did that last time. He betrayed me anyway. So this is punishment for last time plus this time. This is consequence for fraud. This is revenge dressed up as justice. I stood there, watching her pack. What do you want from me? I asked. I want you to decide what matters more, being right or being a father. Those aren't mutually exclusive. They are now. She zipped the bag, picked it up. I'll be at my sister's. When you decide to be the man I married instead of the man you're becoming, call me. And Derek? Talk to him. Really talk to him. Figure out a solution that doesn't end with your son in prison and your granddaughter growing up without a father. What if there isn't a solution? Then you're a better man than he is, and you find one anyway. She left. I stood there in the bedroom, alone, again. Derek called that night, late, past midnight. Dad, I need help. I told you, you have 30 days. I know, but I found something. What? A buyer. For Westfield Plaza. He's willing to pay $4 million. You paid 4.2. I know, but with the deposit lost, this limits the damage. I take a $600,000 loss instead of losing everything. Where's the $600,000 coming from? I'll figure it out. How? I don't know yet, but it's better than bankruptcy. Who's the buyer? Development group. They're planning to renovate and flip it. They know about the electrical problems? I told them. And they still offered $4 million? Yes. Something was wrong. Nobody pays $4 million for a property with $350 in electrical problems unless they're getting something else out of it. What's the catch? I asked. No catch. They just want to close fast. How fast? 2 weeks. That's too fast. It's not. They're cash buyers. Derek, cash buyers who want to close in 2 weeks on a problem property are either money launderers or they know something you don't. Dad, I'm running out of options here. Then slow down and think. I don't have time to slow down. Make time. I can't. The electrical problems are worse than Kovich thought. The inspector came back. It's not $350. It's closer to $600,000. $600,000. And I don't have it. I don't have any way to get it. So either I sell to these guys and take the loss, or the bank forecloses and I lose everything, plus you lose everything. Who are these buyers? I don't know. Some LLC, real estate development. Names? I didn't ask. Derek? Dad, I don't have time for due diligence. I need to stop the bleeding. I was already at my computer, pulling up property records, searching Westfield Plaza, looking at recent activity, found it. Development LLC that had submitted renovation permits 3 weeks ago, before Derek bought the property. Derek, this is a setup. What? This buyer. They submitted renovation permits before you bought the property. They knew about the electrical problems. They knew exactly how bad it was. They let you buy it anyway. That doesn't make sense. It makes perfect sense. They wanted the property. You paid $4.2 million. Now they're buying it from you for $4 million. They get the property $200,000 cheaper than they would have paid originally, plus you eat the deposit loss and loan costs. Why would they do that? Because they can. Because you were desperate and stupid and they took advantage. Silence. So what do? He asked quietly. You don't sell. I have to sell. I can't afford the electrical work. Then you find someone who can? Who? I thought about it. Thought about the property, the location, the potential. Thought about what it would take to fix it. Thought about whether I wanted to help Derek or watch him fail. I know someone, I said. Who? Me.